Have you ever wanted to make circles and spheres in Adobe Animate, but you just don't know how to? Well, you're in luck, because this video will teach you all about it. So without further ado, let's get cracking. So I'm going to press O to get to the oval tool. You can draw ovals. This color's kind of ugly, so I'm going to click fill and then press this little box to get rid of the fill. I'm going to change the stroke size to 0.1. I'm going to hold shift so I can draw a perfect circle. Now I'm going to double click this oval to select all of it, press F8 to convert to a symbol. I'll call it a circle test. Now double click to go inside of the symbol. Now I'm going to copy this oval, which you'll see, and then make a new layer. I'm going to paste this oval, disable the other oval so I can't see it, but it's still there. Then paste it again, and then hold shift and the right arrow. You can do the left arrow to face that way, or any way really. It's all up to you. Anyways, let's paste it. I'm going to move it to the left. Now right here, you could do something like making it a little bit smaller. If you had like a really long disk object, like a hot dog or something, and you want it to be like an intense perspective, you could do something like this to achieve that. I'm not going to do that for simplicity's sake. I'm just going to make it a little disk. Or like, even if you want, you could like make this a little bit shorter. I did that with Alt and drag the end of it, make it smaller. You can like do something like that. For simplicity's sake, I'm just going to keep it nice circle. Copy and paste, move to the left, right, sorry. Now I'm going to use the line tool, press N to go to the top of either of these circles and hold shift, form a straight line, and just drag that across. To do that for the bottom side also. There you go. Now press Q and delete these. No, delete this line, but not this line. Delete this line to get rid of those overlap, and delete this line too. You can see we have the outline of a circle. What I'm going to do, now you're going to pick a color. Personally, I'm going to pick a nice green. A nice vibrant green. Color pick that to copy it. I'm going to fill this side too. Now, what I'm going to do, bring back the line tool and hold shift across this edge to the other edge. This is why I used a 0.1 line thickness to make sure that it can be as accurate as possible. So do that there, and then you can do it here. I'm going to make this one a little bit lighter and like change the hue a little bit. And this one is going to be a little bit darker. I'm going to change the hue a little bit. This one up here is optional. You don't have to do this one. You could keep it like this if you so please. Also, you don't have to put the shading spots in the exact spots that I did. You can put them wherever fits your object. This is just how I'm going to do mine for simplicity's sake. Save it. Make sure to save. And that's pretty much it. This is like a plastic kind of object, so this should be fine. If it's like a metal object or something, you can copy and paste this outline and press Q and hold Alt and drag very slightly. Then select this little sliver and then color pick it with the lighter color to give yourself a sort of rim light effect. That thing looks kind of cool. You probably make it bigger than that if you were to do that. Personally, I won't. So just keep it just like this. And that's pretty good. You can make this a gradient if you want to. I don't personally like grading, so I won't, but that's always an option. So destroy all this. You can delete this layer so you won't need it anymore. So select your full layer, then copy it, and then paste it to another layer. Select the layer and then press D to change it all to white. Then press S to go to the ink palette tool. That's where you can give an outline like in bfdi and all kinds of other object shows. I'm going to use whatever stroke thickness you want it to be. Use double, because although it looks pretty thick here, remember that below this is the actual size of the object, which goes about halfway. As you can see if I like flash it. So put that behind, and then you can change your stroke and double click it to select all your stroke, click it, and then color pick the darkest color. I personally do that. Then adjust the color to be, personally I change it to be like darker than any other color on the object. I make sure like hue shifted, you know, color theory and all that. And that's basically it. My circle, a circle friend for you and us. Spheres are a little bit more tricky. So I'm going to do here, I have another circle, F8, it says sphere test. You can name it whatever. I'm going to put this, go inside the symbol, make another layer. And what I like to do is I like to select the sphere, copy it, and paste it onto this layer. And then I paste it again, and then press Q and shrink it. Now you might be saying, why am I doing this? You'll see in just a second. So when you do this, make sure to make it a little bit wider in the shape, and like rotate it to wherever you want the light source to be. So if I want it coming down from here onto the object, I tilt it like this, so it's kind of like perpendicular to it. You can also make it like wider if you want it to be like more, if the light is like coming from where the viewer is watching, or like this if it's coming from in front of the viewer, behind the viewer, you know. I'll just keep it like this. So after I did that, I'll select the bottom and go to color, and then color shift it a little bit, and then make it a darker color. Delete that because I have the layer on the bottom. Wow, doesn't that look great? That looks grand. This is basically done. So you just copy the bottom layer because it's already the full sphere and you didn't change anything. Paste it, the ink bottle tool, just like the sphere, that at the bottom, and then color pick that, just a hue, make that darker. And that's basically it. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind, this won't work for everything. And when I mean everything, I mean every material. Right now, I'm assuming this is probably some kind of like felt material because it's not very vibrant. It's kind of like two-tone, very simple shading. I'm gonna make a few duplicates of different materials. So I'll call this one and then rename this to felt sphere. I'm gonna make a bunch of duplicates. So right click and then duplicate symbol. This one will be plastic sphere. Make a duplicate of this one. This one will be glass sphere. And then duplicate this one. That'll be metal sphere. Now I'll just go change up how I personally shade each of these materials. Start with the, which one is this? So this is the felt sphere. I'm gonna do the plastic sphere. Now plastic tends to have more vibrant colors. So I probably like adjusted the saturation to be more saturated. Oh, this is all up to personal preference. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. You can keep the same colors. Plastic tends to have a bit of a shine, so I'll take out my oval tool, like get rid of the stroke, and I color pick the lightest color. Oops. And then I'll make it pretty light. I won't make it perfectly white. I'll make it like pretty light. You can just like freehand this. Doesn't have to be. I'll make it a more green color. Press Q. You can rotate it. I'll put it like around the top of the sphere. You can hover your cursor over the oval, and you see it has a little curve next to it. You can drag, and this will adjust the oval, like the shape of the oval. I like to drag at the bottom to kind of flatten it out a little bit. I'll just make it white and then turn down the opacity a little bit so it kind of like mixes. I think that looks good. That's good enough for a plastic sphere. So what's this? This one is the glass sphere. So you know, glass, don't make it a symbol. Glass is transparent. So what I'm gonna do is go into color and just make this pretty low opacity. This one will be pretty low opacity too. What are you gonna do about the outline? We'll make it somewhat transparent. For this step we're gonna have to convert this to a fill. Press expand to fill right here. So hide both of these layers and you can delete this. That's kind of messing with everything. Take this, use your ink bottle tool again. Crank up the stroke size to the same stroke size used for this. Then use it only on like the middle side. Then convert that to a shape. Actually, before you convert it to a shape, make sure it's a different color. So this is, yeah. So now you can delete it and it'll be a perfect fit. Just like that. Now it's transparent. Before I go out of layer, I just want to add a quick shine, just like I did for the plastic ball. I'm gonna make it white. Glass is typically has white shading on it because it's very reflective. Do the same kind of deal there. Gonna adjust the shape to kind of like wrap around the glass. I think that's pretty good. It's transparent, you know, as glass should be, like a glass ball. I'm not a fan of this color, so I'll kind of change it a little bit. There you go. I think that looks better. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Next, you're the metal sphere. Now, about metal typically has a higher contrast. The colors are very contrasting, so I'll darken this down a lot. Really show And then I'll have to make this also darker so that it shows properly. I'll make this actually a little bit lighter. This, like that color, and darken it up a little bit. This, typically metal, is like, that looks pretty metal. Another thing you can do, let me just hide this stroke, hide that. So use the ink bottle tool, set it to 0.1, change it to a nice identifiable color, and copy that. And then bring back this shading. Then use the ink bottle tool on that too. Hide the other layer, and then get rid of this stuff on the bottom. So you just want this stuff, right? A cool trick. So change this color to the same color as the shadow, and then in style, change it to the stippled one, or stippled, I don't know how you say it. Change the stroke size to whatever. See how it kind of looks like spots. It's like things like, almost like grainy metal will have this stuff. I think it looks kind of cool. I'm gonna change it to 15, looks good. So select the stroke and convert it to a fill. Then take the stroke around the below sphere that we did with the ink dropper tool. Copy that, delete, then go up to this layer and then paste it. And anything that's outside this, you just delete. Delete that, delete that. Now everything's contained within here. So now you can just select this layer, object, stroke, and then press the little X to get rid of it. Wow, we're not done yet. You know, metal is pretty shiny. All these materials that are custom materials are pretty shiny. So I'm gonna take this, color pick that, and I'm gonna make it very close to white. I might just, yeah, super close. Like I said, metal is very contrasting. What I'm gonna do here is put that where it should be. Right around there should be good. I'm gonna do the same trick that I did with here. So stroke thickness about 15. I might change it. Let's see the style, see how it looks. I don't really like that, so I'll change the stroke thickness. Keep in mind that this is all just how I like to do it. If you want to do it a different way, then all power to you. I really don't like tutorials that are just like, to do this, to make this do exactly as I say, do this, then this, then this, then this. And if you don't do it exactly as I say, then it will be bad and awful. I really don't like that. So yeah, you can change this tutorial up however way you want. Make it yours, you know, because your art is yours. And I don't want to be like enforcing the rules on you. So here, that looks, also another good tip, small imperfections like these, the viewer, if you're making like YouTube videos, they probably won't notice unless you export it at like a really high resolution and they're like digging into the frame. So I'm gonna fix it anyways. But you know, little tip, small details like this, like errors, they probably won't be noticed, so you don't like kill yourself over it. That is my metal ball. Actually, I'll just like delete some of these outer shadings because I don't think they look that good. Yeah, that's the beauty of it. If it doesn't look good, then you just like change it and it'll be fine. There you go, I think that looks better. So here is all these spheres I made. A glass sphere, a plastic sphere, a metal sphere, and a felt sphere. Personally, my favorite is probably the metal sphere, but you know, do whatever you will. And here's a disc. So yeah, that's my tutorial in making circles and spheres. Like I said, you don't have to follow this tutorial exactly. You can do however you want, like whatever way you want it to look, and that'll be fine because you know your art is yours. I might make more tutorials like these, but yeah, you know, thank you for watching.